All right, you guys, welcome back. Today I have another match review. This is going to be a continuous series on my channel where I look through your guys' replays and kind of help you guys out where I can. Today we have Hyphen's account. They are an Elder God Katana Jax player. Their boyfriend actually messaged me on Twitter and wanted me to look through her account. So I'm going to look at some matches and just help them out where I can. Since they do play Katana Jax, it's going to be a lot easier for me to actually pick apart their gameplay. I play Katana with all types of cameos, but Katana Jax is just what I know the best, so it's going to be a lot more in depth, and I can actually really help them help figure out where they're missing out on stuff or where they're just playing out of their mind and saying really good. Because I actually did look at one of their matches a couple days ago when I think they're just playing Combat League, and they actually were playing very, very well. It was actually really nice to see because once again, there's not a lot of Katana players making content, and there's not a lot of you just don't see a lot. Like I will play an entire Elder God run through and only see like two Katana players. So like it's really nice to see. So let's get into these matches. Usually when I do these, I try to pick a match or a loss where they lose to a character that's very common. So Kung Lao is a very common character, a very annoying matchup, and I have a lot of matchup advice and stuff that could probably help them out there. And then with the win, I might pick it either from the same match because they did start beating this guy. They did reverse 3-0 them actually right here. So they obviously got a hold on either what they were doing or the matchup in general. Or for the win, I'll look at something that I know a lot about and can really congratulate them on doing good things. So, like Garrus, I have a lot of Garrus XP. Unfortunately, I just play a lot of Garrus players. But let's get into it. I'm gonna comment more when I need to, and let's look at these matches. The first match that we have is going to be Kung Lao Goro versus Katana Jax. So, some information about this matchup before we look into it. So Kung Lao, he actually, it can be very annoying for Katana. Kung Lao is able to challenge all of Katana's gaps. We know Katana has gaps in practically everything. 2-4, back 2-4, 1-4, back 3-3, back 3-4, all have gaps. So with a character like this, it's similar to Tanya, where he has an armored launcher that is plus on block and actually gels into his standing one, which is very annoying. And Katana has to play around that. So I usually go into the matchup playing it pretty lame. Most people are going to always stick to Kung Lao Goro. However, Kung Lao does count. It doesn't counter Katana, but it contests her zoning very, very, very well. But once again, most Kung Lao players are going to stick with Goro. They want the armored launcher. They want to flip their brain off and do Kung Lao shit. So let's get into this match. We'll see how they do. This is a loss, but once again, Hyphen ended up reverse throwing this guy anyway, so I'm sure they figured out what they were doing wrong, but this is more for everybody else who's struggling against Kung Lao Goro and need the general help. So let's see. 3 jumps so far, and 2, of course, left dive kick into armored launcher. Hmm. Okay, so firstly, I want to say this person at the beginning is jumping quite a bit. In this matchup, you're going to want to use down back 3 a lot. Kung Lao players are usually going to be jumping around and trying to do stuff, maneuver their way around the screen. But Kung Lao's zoning is also an issue for Katana. However, this guy is not zoning very often at all. So right now you should have been abusing down back 3 while he was mid screen. Now that you're in the corner, however, I've noticed that you are not challenging him at all. He did his low string into the low or his low into the overhead, and you respected him. Probably because you're fearing, I'm assuming, an armored launcher follow up, but he actually has no meter here. So my mind is blinking. I'm not sure if he had any at that exact time, but in general, after that string, that low into overhead or low into low, I want you to start forward one checking Kung Lao. Most will attempt to neutral duck, so if you were to go for a grab because he's like -5-ish, he would neutral duck and punish you. So I want you to get into the habit of conditioning him that he needs to block there with forward one. That's your 12 frame mid, and then after you block that stuff, you can start throwing him. You could have put him in the corner right here and stuff. You don't have to respect him here, as well as this 1-2 pressure, the standing one pressure. It's not real. So like a standing one to a standing one, it's a high, it's a high. You have a lot of time. You have to get into the habit. One of the things that I pride myself in doing, or that I think is like one of my positive attributes as a fighting game player, is my ability to call out staggers and challenge stuff quickly. I know once again you get this together, but in general, this stuff shouldn't happen at a higher level. And I've watched your replays in the past, and I know you are a higher level, which is why I'm telling you this stuff. So yeah, just get into the habit. Really work on down one checking this guy because he is getting away with a lot. Another thing, that Kung Lao low into overhead mix, you can armor between that gap. So you have no meter here, of course, but just in general later. Overhead. He does it again. Yeah, you're literally just getting staggered and he's getting away with it right now. That's literally all you're losing to. Funny enough. Armored launcher. This is actually a safe jump. He doesn't go for it here, but he gets a safe jump that armor breaks off of that. That was a really good delay wake up into button. Very nice. Very nice combo. Jack's call. Perfect. And you mistimed your meaty there a little bit. It's fine. 1-2-1. I think that's 1-2-1. Maybe it's 1-2-2. I'm not sure Kung Lao's exact strings, like his notation. And get overhead, I got a break. Perfect. I would have standing 2 right to hear him there. Armor. It's just typical Kung Lao stuff. Okay, cool. So yeah, once again, you just lost to mainly staggers, but there are a couple things that I can show you that is Kung Lao specific that probably not a lot of people know. You can actually, there's ways to get around his armored launcher. It's very annoying, but I'm going to take you into the lab and show you some things. Once again, I'm saying this just to make sure this is clear. Hyphen did beat this guy. Like, this isn't an actual, like, overall loss that they didn't adapt to. They did adapt to the situation, and they did end up winning. But for everybody else, I am going to, and maybe Hyphen, maybe they don't know some of this stuff. Let's get into some stuff that she can do to challenge Kung Lao and to keep herself safe and beat this armored launcher. That's what this character is. This character is literally stagger armored launcher. That's it. That's all he has. That's all he's doing. So let's find some ways to get around that. I'm gonna see you guys when I go into the training mode. All right, cool. So we're in the lab now. I actually looked through a couple more of the replays, and there is a couple of things that I actually do really want to point out. So Hyphen actually has perfect timing mostly all the time with their 2-4-1-2 into down 4-2. They never mistime that. I just want to put that out there. So they're doing it at a timing where you can't jump out of the down 4-2 even if you block it. However, one thing I want to point out is that Kitana does have a gap in 2-4, and Hyphen does go for this a lot. And you need to be very careful doing that in this matchup, especially in particular. So once again, 2-4 has a gap. And if you go for this timing that you're going for, and he armors it, the Kung Lao that you were fighting wasn't armoring this gap enough. And he has no reason to never not challenge this gap. So if you were to do 2-4, 1-2, and he was to hit you here, not only would he launch you, you're locked out of Jack, so you can't break her. And you're in a very, very bad position. So in future matches when you're fighting Kung Lao, you always need to be very, very careful. What you can do, however, is standing 2 into jump. This will bait that out, and it'll make them actually have to think, because they're not going to be looking for that. And regardless, Kitana's jump in, I hate to say it, is so broken. Like, her jump in, her jump in kick is so ridiculous that even if he was to not challenge it, like, and you would have hit him with this, it gels into standing 4, and then you can go from there. So just an overall tip for you there. Another thing, so back to 4 is another gap that everybody knows of. Once again, Kung Lao can mindlessly challenge this, but similar to 2-4, you can also still jump it and punish him. You could actually do a jump 2 if you wanted to and get a full, you know, if I could not drop my combo that I created, have a full conversion like this. It's good, it scales a little bit more just because you did a jump in, but you know, very good. Another thing, you can actually call Jax after you get hit here. It's very weird, but you can call Jax in between the first and the second hit of Kung Lao and set up a scenario where Jax is behind him and he will get hit here. So it would obviously force him to jump. So, you know, you could get hit by the first hit, call Jax, and then like do EX down back 3 or something like that, and it will of course, catch him. Another good thing that not a lot of people know, but it'll be very good, and they will catch people off guard because they will try to jump. You hit them with the EX on back 3, and they'll be shook. They'll be like, "What the fuck just happened?" It's something that I do sometimes, but normally, I would just go for the jump in because they're going to be buffering it, and you can look out for that way. Okay, so another thing is that Kung Lao player and probably every other Kung Lao player on Earth was waking up every single time. Like, not every single time. That's excessive, I'm sorry. He was waking up a lot. And what you can actually do, Kitana can armor break Kung Lao, if you guys didn't know. So he was doing it after this. And you can actually just do like, you know, 1-1 and armor break this character. You can do it after a lot of her knockdowns too. It's a lot easier on like her jump 1-1-2 knockdown because she's so plus. You just dash forward and do it. But yeah, you can armor break him. So I fucked it up there, but it's a, it's a thing that you can do. So in the corner, once again, Kitana has all these gaps, right? 1-4, 2-4, back 3-3, all sorts of stuff. But when you're back to the wall, he actually cannot armor you for free anymore. You have EX down back 3 to cover you, and this is a lot harder to deal with in general when Kitana's in the corner. You could jump it still, but, you know, in general, if he just blocks, of course, you can jump it. But when he does go for this armor launcher, it will launch him, and you're able to easily switch sides. You have so much time to switch sides and continue to combo him. Not only that, you put him in a situation where he doesn't want to be, which is unblockable. This character, you always want to unblockable him. He's just, like, you don't want to deal with his armor launcher, right? Like, we do have 1-1 that can armor break it, but as you'll come to realize, it's harder to do than it looks. And sometimes he'll low profile the first hit of the standing one, and it'll just whiff, and then he'll launch you anyways because you don't get the armor break. So, the unblockable is, you know, the best option to always go for against this character. Alright, so the next match is going to be Garrus Kung Lao versus Kitana Jax. Now this matchup is a little bit weird. You can play it lane, but once Garrus gets the life lead and he starts building his hourglasses to reverse time, you have to actually go in on him. So you can play a good mixture of both. I like to just rush this character down. You have to be very careful with that 2-4-1-2 into Jack's call, like in the pirouette over the Jack's call, that like little unblockable like string. You actually have to be careful doing that versus Garrus. You have to be on point every single time. If you're not, and the Garrus actually knows the matchup, I'm not saying that this one does, I don't know yet. His armor will actually launch you and give him a full combo. So you actually have to be careful. But let's see how you play it. This is a win. So let's see. Good spacing on the back four. So Garrus can armor there and launch you. I'll show you that after. Very nice kill. Command grab. Nice, that was not plus. See, right now you have the life lead. You don't even have to come to him at all. He can just make it hard for him and play lame. Good armor. I'm assuming you armored there because you assumed that he was going to use the Kung Lao hat, so. Ooh. Whatever that was. Nice combo. Into setup. Oh, he's getting 8. Oh, you're clearing. Oh my god. Did you brutal? Oh, they ate. She ate him the fuck up. Period. Okay. Yeah. Not much to even say there. You just literally ran him over. In that matchup, instead of going for armor every single time, while it is good, you can literally just instant air down back 1 the Lao hat after some of his strings. He has one string that gels, but not all of them do. And you guys should actually get used to doing that. I'll show you that in the lab afterwards, but like I said, yeah, I know. I looked through a couple of their replays. Hyphen would be clearing as Katana Jack's actually really good with the duo as well. And I want to thank you for letting me look at your replays and stuff. But yeah, let's go over a couple of the Gira stuff that I know, and then we'll end the video off there. But yeah, they're amazing. They're really good with the duo as well. So I recorded the rest of the Geras training mode stuff, and then I was rewatching it when I was editing, and I realized I didn't record what I told you about first. So now I'm coming back to record it. Also, why was I saying so much throughout this video? It's like such a huge pet peeve of mine. I can't stand it. I usually check myself, but this time I haven't recorded a video in a minute, so I didn't really check myself. Anyways, so 2-4-1-2, this right here against Garrus, he can. That's what I was saying. You have to be careful. I don't know the optimal, but that's all. Anyways, now to the rest of the video. And we're going to talk about the Kung Lao block strings first. So, once again, Garrus does have a specific string that gels into his, and gels in a Lao hat, but the main one that you see them using, if they ever use back 1-2, that is not real. And you can actually jump and down back 1 and punish it, like so. And it's very good. You can do this to a lot of Kung Lao block strings, actually. And you react. So, like, if they don't do the Kung Lao assist, you just come down with a jump 3 into like standing 4 into gels and good stuff like that. Another thing to note, a lot of people, they will call Kung Lao and they will block so that if you jump, oh, my ass is making him, oh my god, please, there you go. If you jump into this, you know, everybody sees this, you get hit and then you get full combo punish, right? Kitana could actually just down back 2, on reaction, so you don't get hit. You guys should start utilizing that a little bit more. Sometimes, like, Garrus is very, very tall, so sometimes, like, if you're too deep, you'll hit him with the down back 2 and fall into it. But it's a much better option, because you see right there, it still went away by the time I hit the floor. Yeah, just another thing that you can implement. Other than that, well, like I said, you obliterated that guy, but I noticed you go for this sometimes and you drop it, just work on that timing. A lot of Kitana players in general need to abuse her jump 3 more. It's really, really hard to anti-air, and like, we're playing Jax, right? So you don't want to up block too often when somebody's using Jax cameo, because, you know, you have the EX throw and it hits for 34% if they up block it and you read it. So it's like really good to abuse her jump 3. It's very hard to anti-air, and it's gonna block. So also, I would recommend implementing that. Other than that, you're very good at timing all your Jack stuff with your 2-4-1-2. I see people mistime that sometimes. You can also use this, just so you know, when you knock somebody down. Try using, you know, 2-4, back 2-4 to do the exact same thing. Because this armor breaks. The down 42 will armor break with Jacks behind it. A lot of characters, so it's pretty good to use as well. Other than that, I don't know. I think you did very, very well. Once again, I've watched other replays of yours as well, so I know you're fully aware of what you're doing. Oh, another thing. Make sure you're start trying to call Jacks out a little bit more when you're zoning people out, and also, you know, utilize the fact that you can get him off the screen and continue moving around that way, instead of doing stuff. As well as when you get that, let me see, when you get that standing 4 string down over your Jax cameo, let's use stance hold duck. Start utilizing this a little bit more. It's really good. You know, create more space and stay away. Other than that, very good job. If anybody else would like for me to go through the replays, you can just DM me, or hopefully you're on PlayStation, because I have some people who DM'd me about me going through the replays on like other platforms, and I would have to set it up on my PC, and I'm sorry, I'm like technically inept sometimes, so I can't really figure it out yet. But when I do, of course, I'll go through other people's. But thank you guys all for watching. Once again, if you have any questions or anything, let me know. I hope this all helps anybody who's looking for specific Kitana help. I'm here to help you guys, and, you know, just do what I can. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.